Okay, hold on. I am trying to change the screen. Hold on. Put this up. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go live on Instagram. We're not going live on TikTok today because. Are you serious? It's gone. Okay, so we can't go live on Instagram. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, we're at 1 minute 40 seconds. Okay, so we have 3 anonymous questions. So we're going to get into these questions. If anybody should come across this video, not all formats, I can see your commentary. So you could definitely try. It's best to follow my professional pages on Facebook. We learned that through trial and error. All right, so we're going to look at the first question. It's my son's father and I have reconnected. It's a friendship vibe. He's been a strong support system, but really trying to figure out where, if anywhere, things are going. Spirit Team of Anonymous 1. Speak to the power. Give us love, light, grace. Thank you. Give us mercy. Give us infinite wisdom and knowledge. Decrease me and increase you. Give daughter the insights that she needs regarding her son's father and the new connection. It's the highest good message. It's the highest good message. Okay. There can be victory that can be had with your son's father. Yet, you're right now, you are in wounded warrior energy, right? Here's the victory that can be had, but you're in wounded warrior energy. Wounded warrior energy is essentially when we've been through things and it becomes a part of our psyche. And when it becomes a part of our psyche, then it is making decisions for us without us really knowing it in the moment and understanding it. And because those are unhealed wounds, it's usually negative. So you have to submit. Look at how he's bowing. You have to submit and you have to give yourself time to heal. Now, there is a choice that can be had with your son's dad. Okay, card just fell out of nowhere. Oh, Chariot. I'm just going to put to the side. You have a choice in this, and you say it in your question. Figure out where, if anywhere, things are going, right? And so Spirit is co-signing that there is a choice. And as you are healing, you're going to be able to put down the burdens, and you're going to be able to understand what choice to make. But do exactly what you're doing now, contemplating, talking, getting more data and feedback from him, how you are feeling about the situation in real time, right? He is showing up as a divine masculine. Right? But the divine masculine is right, and I didn't place this consciously, is right underneath the Nine of Wands. And so you need to make sure that instead of being in this low energy, you give yourself time to get into this energy when it's time to put the burdens down, right? Because if you are in this energy and you attach yourself to him quicker, then it could be your lower self. See what energy? This is low vibrational energy, wounded warrior energy. You're putting this into this positive energy, right? But this positive energy is also strong. And like you said, he's been a support system. So you don't want to jump, you don't want to jump fast, because then you'll be bringing that energy in. But if he's a support system while you are healing, right? You want to be in this energy. You want to be in your strength. When, child, this card is right underneath the choice card. So you don't make a choice about him. You don't come to any conclusions until you are in your strength and you have your lower self, and your higher self is guiding your lower self. So the lion is the beast. The lion goes based upon instincts, right? This is your higher self, and you are taming the lower self, right? You need to be on this energy when you make the decision, okay? So I hope that that helps. So everything is copacetic. Oh, yeah. And this is divine justice that can help you get to your ultimate marriage, okay? And this is victory. The card that fell is victory. Okay. So if you understood that, let me know, okay? Hey, Miss Di. Good morning. Oh, child. Lover's card fell out. This is why I say, don't click off when I'm ending your reading, because you might miss something. That's the way Spirit works. Okay. So we're going to get to question number 2. Hey, sweetie. My daughter thinks someone may have put a root. We're at 9 minutes. Anonymous 1 at about 1:40. Anonymous 2 at 9:30. Okay. So, Spirit team of Anonymous 2. Speak with the power. Spirit team of her daughter as well. Speak with the power. Give us love, light, grace, mercy, infinite wisdom, knowledge about this particular potential attack. What insights do you need her to know? Yeah. There's something that she needs to leave. something, someone, somewhere. She needs to leave. Yeah. Yep. Came out right away, and it's attached to a lover. It's attached to a soulmate, right? And I got this yesterday that she needs to leave, but I don't like to speak unless I'm 100% positive. Because I don't like to put my energy on other people's situations. But this is the you gots to go, you gots to leave card. Um, she does have victory over this attack, but look at how the middle card is the magician, right? And right after it, it's the Five of Swords. So this is an attack. So someone did use a magician, use spirit, and that magician used spiritual work to stage this attack, right? And then look, it was done in secret. Yeah, so it is over this masculine energy. Spirit team of Annette, Dupree, and her daughter, speech with the power. Thank you for the insights. Give us love, grace, mercy. If it was in knowledge, decrease me, increase you, so that the message is clear. Please confirm. Thank you. Clarify, confirm. Wow. Yep. Wow. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So her guides are telling her, right, what is going on. She needs to learn how to protect herself and how to listen to these messages, because it's not the first message that they gave her. They have given her plenty of messages regarding her divine masculine, but she stays in position, and does not, I don't want to say does not listen to them, but does not take the appropriate action to avoid the spiritual attack. So she needs to leave quickly. All right, you got the Knight of Swords underneath the Eight of Cups. So this is quick. This is without thinking. Because her victory in life is under attack. God's light is the only way out of this, right? Because just like her spirits are speaking to her and are telling her that she is under attack, she needs to proactively make sure that she is listening to the Most High and the good spirits that work for the Most High, so that she doesn't get into these positions, right? And she needs to pray, meditate, and ask God, how did she get there, so that her actions and what brought her to this point is illuminated. And that's not to put her down or to blame her, but that is so that she prevents herself from getting in the situation again. She needs to go somewhere, because that's where God is going to have her blessings waiting for her to partake in. If she does not leave, she is going to regret it. She's going to regret it. Okay? So I hope that helps. And praying for her and the children and all of you. And this does not feel good. Trust me. I know. I just got the Tower card. The Tower card. It's the only card that did not pick up. There's an impending tower, and that can be anything, and it's not good. It's not fun. Okay, she has to make sure that she's listening to her spirit team. All right, bless. New comments. Let's see. Okay, those are my comments. Just make sure I'm not missing anybody. I don't think so. Nope, got it. Okay, so now we're going to go to Anonymous 3. This one's a little bit longer than the other ones. So Anonymous 3 is at 16:16. Okay, so Anonymous 3 says, I'm fighting every day for my life. The enemy knows he can't get me, but he is trying to get my kids, my babies. First, the car got shot up. Next, 5 cars deep pull up to my house to attack my sons. Then, last night, my son's best friend got shot while my son was waiting on the porch for a ride to go where she was. And they are fighting me every step of the way. I buried one child. I cannot bury another. Okay. Now, number one, your apps. I'm going to break down your question because within the question shows us where we are at. I'm fighting every day for my life. Okay. You've been under attack for a long time, right? Think about that serious car accident you were in, right? Think about the friendships that you were around. Think about your first child, right? And so at some point, Spirit wants us to wake up to the cycle that we are on because there has to be a change. That pattern has to be broken, right? The enemy knows he cannot get me, but he is trying to get my kids, my babies, right? And that's how, you're absolutely right, that's how the enemy works. And even when, as adults, just think about everything that you've been through. It has impacted your kids. It has informed your kids. So the enemy is working on you all simultaneously. And if your protections have kept you safe, not, scathe free, but has not killed you, then yes, is the enemy is going to go harder on your children because the enemy wants to infiltrate your children as well as you, right? Now, all of these actions back to back is definitely showing the level of attack. And because many children don't have the same awareness, spiritual awareness as adults, especially when they're older children, they fall into societal norms that are not normal. The perception of societal norms. And so this is what you are seeing. Now, the next thing that I want to, the next thing that you said is, I buried one child. I cannot bury another. I won't make it. Full stop. As a divine feminine in your family, you have to make sure that you rebuke the statement and that you change your verbiage. because the enemy knows that this is your weakness. And as long as you show this, as long as you speak it, as long as you think it, the enemy is going to use this after you. Use this against you. So you definitely need to change this, right? Because the enemy is infiltrating your family, showing you where this can go. And you're declaring the enemy the winner in that statement. God forbid if something should happen to your child, you just took yourself out the game. You can't break these generational curses and cycles because you're saying, I won't make it. You're speaking it into existence, right? We can help our children fight these battles, spiritual and practical, right? Because they're happening simultaneously. Part of it is a spiritual attack. Part of it is, real practical people, situations, things happening, right? And so your language, your thought process and language has to change, right? And we can talk about the cards later. But I do want to address the last statement you said. I'll read it. And I'm not sure of the cards you do and whether or not it's from God or another source. But I know you and your heart. God that's our connection. That's our USB cord to the spiritual realm, our heart, right? So I'm just going to leave that there. So when you know a person's heart, you know that that's the God side. Okay? So, spirit team of Sarah. Oops, sorry. Thinking about my appointment I have next. Spirit team of Anonymous 3. Speak to the power. Give us love, light, grace, mercy, infinite wisdom, and knowledge. Thank you. What do you say about the family's children's situation? Yeah. Yep. Now, what did I call you in terms of your relationship and the family? I said, as the divine feminine. Divine is from spirit. Feminine energy is emotional and it's also psychic. Women are portals, creators. We are the middleman between spirit and bringing life onto this earth. Women are exceedingly powerful, and that power has been suppressed and oppressed to make us think that we are not. And right dead smack in the middle of your reading, you have the divine feminine card, not a part. All of the queens are parts of the divine feminine. But the divine feminine, the empress, is all of the queens rolled into one, right? So spirit is saying, you are an empress. You are the divine feminine. But as a divine feminine, you don't listen. Look at how that spiritual hand is coming out of the clouds and giving you an emotional insight, and you're not taking it. You're looking up at it. Your eyes are closed. You're going towards it, but you're not taking it. And without taking that fourth cup, you cannot add your cups to get to your highest amount of cups, which is 10, right? So you need to assess how it is that you don't listen, right? Because as the divine feminine, we teach our children, right? And so your children are doing exactly what you're doing. You've carried a lot of burdens for a long time. Even before you had your first son, you were carrying burdens. You've always been a fighter. And there are times and places in which we have to use that energy. But as women of color, as Black women, this has been put on our spirit way too early in life, where we really can't differentiate. We think that that is what life is, and it is not, right? This leads to depression, mental anguish, because God did not make anybody to carry those burdens, right? Um, it leads to doubt, fear, worry, guilt, depression, anxiety, sleepless nights, right? And here's how the cards are important, because God anoints so many different people. And God is the creator. And when we create, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's a book, whatever it is one like smidget of God's creative process. And so when someone is anointed with artistic skills and they make a card, it has so many symbols that you can see. Although God speaks to us, just like God has spoken to you and you didn't listen, sometimes it's hard to understand God's messages. As Jesus said, it's one of the prophets from the Old Testament, name begins with a vowel. I always get this wrong. I always look it up and always forget. It's like Isaac or Isaiah. I can't remember, but he said the same thing. God speaks in symbols, and they're like the ones that get it, and the ones that don't, right? So you're not understanding God's messages to you. And look on the other side of this worry and guilt. And I've never seen this before. Look at how this artist placed that owl there. Look at how all these swords are over her bed, and the swords represents thoughts. Look at how she's sitting up in the bed and she's holding herself. She doesn't have a support system there with her. She doesn't have a divine masculine with her, right? She is alone in all these thoughts at night and anguish. But on the other side of those thoughts is an owl, which represents wisdom. So the wisdom is there, and that's what we need to strive for. You need to strive for the wisdom, because God is truth, right? Truth ain't got no label on it. Truth ain't by gender. Truth ain't by race, ethnicity, culture, nothing. God is truth. And that's what we need to aspire to. So you need to aspire towards the truth in order to help free you and therefore free your children, right? Let me know how God speaks to you. Okay? Because you have to get into that. Past messages, current messages. How does God speak to you? Because you need time to figure that out and then to figure out what these messages are calling you to do, how you should move forward and take action. This is the key. This is the answer. Oh, look at this. Overall energy, the message card. Now, what has God told you about a masculine energy in your life? Whether it's your father or a love. Yeah, there's hurt here and walking away towards victory, towards truth, towards your emperor. You can trace how this generational cycle is showing up and how the enemy is able to attack by going back to your father and your loves. The hurt, the pain, disappointment, how you left those situations, because that truth is going to lead you to your divine masculine. And notice this is the Emperor card. This is a match to your divinity. This is a high level power couple relationship that God has for you. This is a soulmate, meaning you have a soul connection. And the way that you have a soul connection is that it is allowed by God. There may be even another child that can be had from this union. However that child comes about, whether it's naturally, whether it's through bonus parentship or parenthood or adoption, however that child, but there's a child that can be impacted, including the children that you have now. This is an even keeled love where you are on the same level, you are evenly yoked, you are eye to eye. Excuse me. You both put your best foot forward. And so you have to know which path are you going to take. Are you going to stay on this path? Or are you going to help free yourself and your children by going the divine path? Okay. Is there anything else that she needs to do? They're telling me to go get another set of cards. Sorry. Anything else she needs to do? Yeah. So you have, you are not meant to perish from this situation. You're meant to learn and to elevate and to get out of this economic and I got mental too and physical stronghold holding you back. You have to submit because you have wounded warrior syndrome. Everything that you've been through makes you so low vibrational. And again, go back to your question. You see how I pointed out the negativity within your question. And so this is completely natural. This is what happens to us. And so you have to submit to the Most High so that people cannot rob you. Look at how that person is stealing 5 swords out of the 7. and only leaving you with 2, right? So you have to submit in order for you to get the victory and to have a new start and a new beginning. And part of the protection is understanding how the spiritual realm works. A lot of this stuff is in the Bible, but many churches don't teach it. Some churches do, right? Because again, when a pastor is given a sermon by the Most High will allow that pastor to go deeper. And what that pastor says in that particular sermon might be different than what they or other pastors teach and preach. And I'm sure you have heard a sermon like that in all your years in the church. But many times, a lot of pastors speak to what the church's dogma is, right? If you remember when you gave me the phone and your mother prophesied over me, right? And she gave me, I don't know if you remember that message. And all of these years later, that message has not come to pass, because just like your mother has that anointed gift and can see a person's blessing from God, other people can see that too, but they don't work for God. They're attached to low vibrational entities and energies. And they know how to manipulate spiritual energy to rob a person of their spiritual blessings, right? And so this isn't always the enemy itself, because we're more powerful than the enemy because we're spirit and we're human. Negative entities are only spirit. So they use low vibrational people to help do their earthly bidding that they can't do by themselves. And nobody tells us this. We're more powerful than these energies, right? And so we have to be knowledgeable, and we have to take action, knowledgeable action, in order to keep us and our babies safe, right? And so all these years I didn't know I was under attack. Right? And so your family has been under attack. Think about the cycles. So you have to go back and do some reflection. And you need somebody to help you get the protections. They told me to get a deck. Hold on. Now, hold on. Spirit team, thank you. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at how this is an ecosystem. Here's a water source, and then there's the alligator, crocodile, and then here's the prey. But they're coexisting. They're fine amongst each other. The real danger is behind this tree and that gun sticking out, right? So you have an unknown, unseen assailant Look, you got messages from fire. Hold on. Second time you got the 5 of earth or 5 of coins, and here it's a goat. And then you have ancestors, right? And you got the defense card. Look at how that dragon is coming, and look at how he's putting a shield up to protect himself, right? So you do need protection. If you notice, because you have a high priestess right in your home family, your mother, right? And notice, prayers are not enough. Doesn't mean prayers don't work. It means prayers are not enough to get off of the cycle, to break the cycle. Prayers are just the most, it's like eating. It should be automatic, right? But you have to do more in life than just eat, right? So you have to do more in life than just pray. You have to take care of the energies that are attacking you. Because these energies is what gets into your head to make you not listen. It gets into your children's head to make them not listen to you and how the spirits speak to them. And it leaves us in this confusion and discombobulated state, exactly where the enemy wants us. So you need someone who can not only look into what these specific energies are, but how to get rid of these energies, right? What people do, and people do this in the church, and quiet is kept. A lot of people doing black magic in the church. Yes, indeed. And most churches do not cleanse their church. And calling on the Spirit of God does not always cleanse a church. And the enemy be all up in it. You need a person that is anointed, who can see the energies, diagnose the energies, and God will give them a prescription that is specific to that energy. This is how messed up the world is, because some of these energies form corporations. They come together to become more powerful. And some people know how to make these energies so that when they send an attack, it's brutal. Prayers are going to be very weak. My house in West Haven had negative entities in it, and God kept showing me them in my visions, and I didn't know what to do. Churches don't deal with this. Muslims don't even typically believe in it. Islam itself. Where do you go for help? Not every Catholic church does this. There are some Catholic priests that do. Where do you go? What do you do, right? So I played gospel, had the Bible open, read scripture. God let me know that don't work. It ticks them off. And that's this particular energy. Or I should say energies, because it was more than one in that house. right? So I was lost at what to do, and that's how I got into this work. And so you need a priest that's going to be able to assess these energies so that they can prescribe how to get rid of them. There's certain things that these energies do not like. So I remember you were telling me that your biological mom was burning sage, and you were like, sage ain't in the Bible. What is she doing? Sage ain't in the Bible. Sage is not in the Bible because the Bible was set in the Middle East. Sage doesn't come from the Middle East, it comes from the Americas, and Native American priests use sage in specific ceremonies for specific reasons. White folks got a hold of it, and they have looked at sage scientifically, and it does change the negative particles in the air to positive particles, right? So that's been proven. So that's why when people burn sage, they feel better, right? And so people use it as an aspirin prescription for everything, and it's not for everything, right? But if you think about it, the three wise men gave Jesus what? Frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Those are all protectorants. And what do you do with frankincense and myrrh? You burn it because those negative energies do not like those smells by God. And those are stronger than sage, by the way. So people shouldn't really be using sage. So there are things that God has put on this earth to protect us. And the European powers that be wanted to keep society leveled and keep their power. So then they got in bed with the church and outlawed spiritual things that keeps us informed and keep us protected, because they didn't want the lower class to uprise and disrupt the pattern. So if your son is supposed to be the next king and you're living as a serf in England, they want your ass to be put there. And they don't want a spiritualist to be able to tell you over your child's God-given anointing. But yet and still, Jesus' birth was prophesied in the Old Testament. And they knew Jesus was being born to a 13, 14-year-old because of prophecy, right? Nothing can be hidden, right? And so prophecy was outlawed. And so that's why we have this backwards perception, right? There's false prophets everywhere. And there's real prophets everywhere. I mean, people thought Jesus was a false prophet. Yeah, listen, this is a whole cycle. This is a whole cycle. And so I am telling you, you need to go to a priest who is a specialist in this and has the power. And so if you would like a referral, if you know of someone, feel free. Go ahead. If you would like a referral, I do have a referral. Okay? So I hope this helps, honey. Kovinsky. Yep, it's a done. Hey, Evelyn, good morning. And she said good morning 15 minutes ago. I don't know if you're still here, Evelyn. Okay. So that is it. That was a long read. That was a long read. Oh, that's on Twitch? Okay. All right. That is it. I don't have any other questions in the comment section that I see. And I don't have a schedule right now. Playing it by ear. All right. So thanks everybody for coming through. Bye.